What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Tennessee Football Talk. I am your host, Joey Petersen. On today's show, we got some brand new, as in they dropped today, recruiting rumors on five-star flip target Tristen Keys, who's currently committed to Louisiana State University, but hopefully not for very long. Joey, why do we keep talking about Tristen Keys? Well, guys, it's because of this. 1,200 receiving yards his junior season. Look at that yards per catch. 21.98 yards a catch. Also found pay dirt 14 times. This dude is an absolute freak. Currently rates at the sixth best prospect in the country. Right ahead of Faizon Brandon when you look at 24/7 top recruits. And now, the latest, coming from On3, really points to Tennessee having a legitimate chance to flip him and turn him into a Tennessee Volunteer before the end of the year. Welcome into the show. Make sure you guys are subscribed, okay? This week's sub battle is against the Alabama Football Report, and we're already down 13 subs. Not that much, okay? We can make up that difference. I know we can because you know why? Vol fans are the best in the country. You have found the best place for daily news, rumors, and anything else you could want on your Tennessee Volunteers, all for 100% free. So if you have not yet, and you hate the Alabama Crimson Tide, today is the perfect day to do me one big favor and hit that subscribe button. Tristen Keys is the subject of discussion today, the 6'2", 180-pound wide receiver who, yes, has been committed to LSU since March 19th. Best wide receiver in the country, sixth best prospect in the country in the class of 2026. His timeline has a little bit been wavy, okay? And I'll just tell you this. If I'm an LSU fan, I haven't been loving what I've been seeing from a guy like Tristen Keys over the summer because he committed in March, and that kind of came out of nowhere. That was a little bit of a surprise. And then in June, at some 7-on-7 tournament, he raved about Faizon Brandon. Okay, two reporters, like in an interview, just absolutely was gushing over the five-star quarterback committed to the Tennessee Volunteers. And then like 4 days after that, the Vols landed a couple of players. He posted those graphics on his Instagram story. But then 4 weeks after that, Tristen Keys and LSU reworked his NIL deal. And so there's been some points during the summer where you say, oh, he's a Vol in no time. But then there's also been other points in the summer where you're saying, that reworked NIL deal. Maybe he's staying at LSU. Well, what we're talking about today comes from Chad Simmons with On3. He speaks on Tristen Keys, okay? And Chad Simmons is an incredibly reputable source. He's worked in college football for a very long time. He's at On3 now with basically everybody else who apparently is joining On3. And he wrote an article of the 5 Southeast prospects that are currently on FlipWatch. And guess who he mentioned in that article? I'm not going to tell you. You can hear it from him. He said the following about Tristen Keys. When FlipWatch comes up, Tristen Keys is always in the conversation. The 5-star from Hattiesburg made a surprise commitment to LSU in March, but that hasn't slowed the interest from other programs. Tennessee is viewed as the biggest threat, with optimism in Knoxville that Josh Heupel's staff can pull off the flip. Tennessee viewed as the biggest threat. Put that in the headlines, ladies and gentlemen. It feels like UT has the momentum on Keys. It feels like if you ask anybody at LSU, hey, how do you feel about Tristen Keys, maybe not even going to Tennessee, but staying with the Tigers, I feel like they don't feel that good about it, okay? Because everything that we've heard, anything that has to do with Tristen Keys' recruitment over the last couple of months, it all seems pointed towards Tennessee. It all seems directed that one day, in the next couple of months, he's going to flip from LSU, commit to the Vols, and they will land the 6th best prospect in the country. Where do you think he'll go? I've asked you this before, but I want to know if this new information makes you feel any different about the subject. Is it LSU or is it Tennessee? Let me know by typing L if you think he's going to be a Tiger. And if you think he's going to be a Vol, go ahead and give me a T in the comment section down below. I will say, for those of you guys who are getting as jazzed up as I am, this one won't be finalized until December, okay? I don't think it really makes sense for Tristen Keys to flip before National Signing Day. Like, he's already got visits scheduled, and we're going to show you those in a second. But, like, this one, we're going to be still going on this roller coaster of emotions and of reports over the next 5 months. Like, I can almost promise you that. However, I will add this in. A rival source did mention that they believe it could happen before the college football season even starts. So technically, there's a source out there that believes that it could happen in the next couple of weeks. Hunter Shelton wrote about it in an article, said according to one source, a potential change of heart could come before the start of the college football season. If that happens, I would be very, very surprised. Okay? Like, it just wouldn't make sense from Keys' perspective. He already has his commitment locked in. And he's already, over the course of the season, like in the fall, he's going on 3 visits to his 3 other top programs in Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Miami. And so, like, if he's on the fence about the Tigers, it makes no sense for him to decommit and flip now when he's still going on all these other visits, when he might want to flip again in sometime in the future. Like, I think he's going to stay committed, go on all those visits, have his senior season, and then once December rolls around, which early signing day is happening Wednesday, December 4th, that's when he's going to make his final decision. That's when he's going to make that final call. But if it happened before then, I'd be very surprised, and I'd be very hopeful that he's coming to Tennessee. What's your confidence level that he flips to University of Tennessee? Scale it for me, 1 to 100 in the comment section down below. How are you feeling? 100, you're very confident it happens. 1, you're saying, I don't think there's any shot. You let me know your answer in the comment section. The whole recruitment thing with Tristen Keys has been a roller coaster, like we've said before, okay? And there's been a lot that makes a lot of people feel like Tennessee's heating up, and it's not just from Chad Simmons and on through. We mentioned Hunter Shelton already in today's video. In that same article, he said the Vols staff remains in consistent communication with Keys, including head coach Josh Heupel, receivers coach Kelsey Pope, and offensive coordinator Joey Halsley. That persistent effort created some quiet optimism in Knoxville that a flip could be possible. And I feel like a guy like Faizon Brandon is ultimately what makes this a possibility, or what helps make this a possibility. We've talked a lot about the relationship that those two have kind of garnered over the last year, and it seems like it's something that's truly special. And why wouldn't it be? Like, if you're a wide receiver and you got to go pick a quarterback to play with, why wouldn't you pick a guy who just led his high school to an undefeated season, a state championship, all while throwing for over 2,800 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 2 picks? And I mentioned Keys has fawned over Brandon before. Back a couple months ago, he said, we've been to Tennessee together a couple times. So, like, we just built our relationship from them. It just became what it's been today. That's my dog, man. He's a great football player and a great quarterback. He is going to zip that ball. And we've talked about before, like, why you would want to go to LSU. And I get it, right? I get the argument. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. It's fine. We can move forward, Casey. Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., like, they have had so much talent over the last couple of seasons. Wide receiver you, right? Since like 2019. I get that. But we also got to realize that they've also had 2 Heisman winning quarterbacks. And without those quarterbacks at that school, no Jaden Daniels, no Joe Burrow, these are the seasons for wide receivers in that offense. 735 yards, 509 yards, 884 yards. So it kind of feels like, unless this team has a Heisman-winning quarterback, you as a wide receiver don't necessarily have a ton of success there. And right now, I don't know how their future quarterback really looks. Like, you compare the 2 schools at where they look like for quarterbacks over the next 3 to 4 seasons. The future for LSU past this year is a little bit bleak. Michael Van Buren, who just transferred from Mississippi State, Juwan Johnson, Colin Hurley, both of those guys 4 stars. And then you look over at Tennessee. They got Brandon coming in next season. They got Merklinger, who's a 4-star. He's been there at that point of next year, will be his 3rd season. George McIntyre, 5-star. He'll be in his 2nd season at that point. Like, it just feels like if you're a wide receiver and you're wanting to go somewhere that's better set up to be a pass catcher, to receive the ball from a elite quarterback, Tennessee is the place you'll go. Because right now, compared to LSU, the quarterback position for the Vols looks a whole lot brighter than it does for the Tigers. Make sure you got me followed on social media. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Joey Petersen on both those platforms. You guys have been crushing it, okay? I've got a ton of followers over the last couple of weeks. Keep that going, okay? The link to my Twitter is in the comment section and description of today's video. More than anything, though, make sure you're subscribed if you love the Vols.